Hello, my name is Carl DeLong, a student of Columbia Southern University's FIR 4311, Fire Prevention and Code Enforcement, taught by Professor Michael Allora. This is a presentation to provide a brief education on fire prevention and code enforcement in my community. Fire prevention can be achieved through the 3 E's: education, engineering, and enforcement. But what are the E's as it relates to the community? Education can be as simple as promoting awareness within the community of things they may do as an untrained person. This could include understanding and recognizing their limitations in trying to stop a fire, learning how to use and what type of fire extinguisher can be used on certain types of fires, or knowing when a fire is past its incipient stage and when they need to evacuate. Engineering, using installed equipment or systems, pre-designed failure techniques, or materials to produce a result that can act in a predetermined manner to prevent or contain a fire or other event so that the loss or risk of a hazard can be reduced, such as building a steel structure rather than a wood for an environment that may have high risk of fire, such as a welding shop. Local code may dictate parts of the engineering requirements or permits. Enforcement. Who and how are these codes going to be enforced? Designated people who are educated and trained and know what to look for potential hazards are covered by a code should have the resources and training to competently observe and inspect the properties they visit. Our community uses a designated person for code enforcement. As it is a full-time position, it allows them to dedicate their time to specific projects and issues as they occur. All new construction or modifications of buildings that we require that we submit a permit application prior to work being done that covers dimensions and slopes, as well as location of utilities, walkways, and roadways. Being such a small community, we do not have any local organizations that determine fire resistance of building materials, and as such, it is recommended that contractors or private builders follow both the manufacturer's recommendations or consult with a code enforcement officer when questions arise. One of the tests that is used to test fire durability is the ASTM E119. This tests the durability or resistance of a material. Essentially what it means is it tests how long it takes for a product to burn or burn through before a fire spreads, loses its integrity, or how fast it might burn. Another test is the ASTM 84. It's a measure of how fast a fire spreads after ignition and the characteristics of the smoke that is produced as it burns. These fire tests and ratings are applicable because depending on the facility and whether it is commercial or residential, specific types of materials may need to be used. Commercial properties require fire-rated substances such as gypsum board for walls, where residential buildings may use other less fire-retardant materials. In our local community, we have many buildings that may not be up to code, but are overlooked because they are not frequented by people. Old potato houses built in the last century often contain very old and dry wood for the structure and are oftentimes used as storage for many types of materials or items. These can lead to problems when a fire breaks out because of the unknown contents and often very hot, very fast spread due to the fuel source. We are lucky as a community that new construction does not pose a large source of spread to existing or adjacent structures due to the often large distances between buildings or structures. However, it is important to take into consideration the vegetation of our area, as pine and poplar trees can ignite and spread fire quickly from one place to another. Creating plans for structures, both existing and new, would help our local fire department reduce and increase reaction time. Floor plans of large buildings and new construction fire prevention systems installed could help to prevent further loss when it is known about by fire responders. While it is important to respect people's privacy, knowledge of installed and available suppression systems would go a long way in helping to support fire prevention activities. Thank you for joining me in this educational video. I appreciate you taking your time to share this learning experience with me and hope it was helpful in bringing up topics that you did not consider before.